In this example, we have an RC circuit, and we are going to provide a step input as the source voltage. And what we are going to look at is what is the voltage across the capacitor as time goes forward. And we're going to look at it under two parameter situations. In the first one, the resistor will be a 10 ohm resistor and a 0.2 farad capacitor. And then system 2, we're going to see a 30 ohm resistor and a 0.1 farad capacitor. So we want to see the difference of how fast the first system and the second system respond to this step input. Which one is going to approach its steady state value faster? So we're going to begin actually with the modeling step. So we need a diagram of our system, which is going to look basically like the one that is provided to us. We have our source voltage. That's going to come up to our resistor R. I'm going to do everything algebraically first, and then put in our parameters later. So across our capacitor, and then we are looking at here this output voltage V1 across the capacitor. So using the diagram, we are going to need to create our transfer function. We need to know what is the transfer function for V1 over Vs. So we're going to need some equations, or in this case, just one equation to do that. Now, I could use KVL, and then I can see, well, the voltage across the capacitor is equal to the current across the capacitor times its impedance, or I can actually just use a voltage divider here, because I can just say it's going to be V1 over Vs is going to be the impedance across V1. So that's going to be 1 over C times S over the total impedance of the system. So that's going to be R plus 1 over C times S. And what I have here, just looking at the inputs and the outputs. So our input is Vs and the output is V1, and they are both in this equation. So I just need to rearrange this. I need to get it into that standard form, and we're going to see that it is indeed a first order system. So let me do a little bit of rearranging here by multiplying the top and the bottom by CS. So that is going to make the transfer function V1 over Vs equal 2. So on the top, I'm going to have 1. And on the bottom, I will have RC times S plus 1. Right, so this is our transfer function for this system. And let's note it is a first order system because the denominator has an S term and a constant. So the order of the system is going to go by the degree of the denominator. So it's first order. We want to put it into the standard form for a first order system, and actually it currently is in that standard form. So keep in mind, we might have to rearrange it. We don't in this case, but in general, always want to check, is this number 1? If it's not 1, if it's something else, 7 or 9, whatever, we have to divide everything by that value to get it into the standard form. So make sure we're doing that check. So this, yes, it does check out. So the standard form, just to revisit that, if we have some transfer function g, it's going to be in the form of a over tau s plus 1. So what we do is once we're in standard form, like we currently are, we can identify the parameters that we have. So a is going to be 1, tau, the time constant, is going to be r times c. So it's in this algebraic form, which is going to be great because now I'm going to be able to fairly quickly check my two different scenarios. And then I'm going to have that other parameter b that is based on the input into the system. So if we go back to what was given to us, that source voltage is going to be a step function with an amplitude of 50 volts DC. So b is going to be 50 volts DC. So with these parameters, a, b, and tau, we are going to be able to sketch the response of both versions of our system. So at this point, I can break it up into, let's look at the first system, and that had R of 10 and C of 0.2. So now specifically R is 10 ohms. I'm working entirely in base units here. And C is 0.2 farad. All right, I'm going to write its transfer function out just so we can see it, but we already know what the different values should be. So R times C is going to be 10 times 0.2 is 2, so 2s plus 1. So for sketching purposes, tau is going to be 2 seconds. All right, so let's draw the sketch for this, and then we're going to be able to do it in simulation and compare. So it's just a sketch. It doesn't have to be perfect here, but let's say I have t. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are going to have our y-axis be our output. So this is V1, and this will be in volts DC. And then this will be in seconds. All right, so for V1, it's going to, well, I know up front it's going to max out at 50, so 40, 30, 20, and 10. Again, doesn't have to be perfect here. Let's look at the steady state value. That is going to be, well, let's see, V1 steady state is A times B. That's going to be 50 volts DC. So I did already know that is going to be the steady state value because of those parameters. So I'm going to draw this dashed line up here. This is the value it is going to asymptotically approach as time goes forward. And I know that my system, when it's in this form with a constant on top, is going to start at 0. The initial condition is 0. And then the last thing I'll sketch here is I'm going to show what point it passes through at 1 time constant. So what does it pass through at 2 seconds? Well, at 2 seconds, it is going to be 1 time constant, so it's going to be at about 63% of its steady state value of 50. So rounding a little bit, that is going to come to about 33. So I'll put that point here at about 33 volts DC. That is 1 time constant. All right, so now we can make our sketch. So we know 2 points it passes through, and we know that it's going to asymptotically approach the steady state value. So sketching this out, it's going to pass through these 2 points and asymptotically get closer and closer to 50 volts. So as a very rough sketch, this is what we should expect it to look like. So let's simulate this in MATLAB and compare how our sketch looks just using 2 points it passes through and the asymptote to the more precise version that MATLAB is going to create as it solves this. Going into MATLAB, I'm going to set my B value, the amplitude of that step input, to 50. And for system 1, I'm going to create that transfer function that I just had. So remember, that was 1 over 2s plus 1. That's what I'm going to call G1. So we can just double check that. 1 over 2s plus 1. This is our first system with R of 10 ohms and C of 0.2 farad. All right, so to simulate it, I am going to use that step function in MATLAB. So literally step, and then the system that I want to apply a step to. In MATLAB, when I use step or impulse or similar types of simulations for transfer functions, I am putting in here my transfer function and then the amplitude of that either step or impulse. 50 times my transfer function will then apply a 50 amplitude step input into transfer function G1. And then I'm giving it the second argument. I specifically want to simulate it for 30 seconds, from 0 seconds to 30 seconds, with a 0.1 second in between. And I'm doing this so that I'll be able to compare both systems a little bit later. So let me just run this first system and see what the response looks like. All right, so this is running it longer than my sketch was. My sketch was only 5 seconds. So obviously this goes further. And let's see the values that we get. Does it match what we had on our sketch? Now we only had a couple of points on our sketch, but let's see how we did. So 0 at 0, so that makes sense. We said that at 2 seconds, it was going to be 63% of the steady state value, so about 33 volts DC. So if I click, all right, so I clicked here, at 2 seconds, we get amplitude 31.6. So that is a closer estimate than we got just doing it by hand. And we see that as time goes forward, as we go through, the amplitude is getting closer and closer to 50. It's rounding up a little bit here, but it stays very, very close to 50 as we go out all the way to the 30 seconds. So our steady state value of 50 was correct. So our sketch did a pretty good job. We hit those 2 points, the 0 and the time constant, and we hit the steady state value correctly. We didn't perfectly have what's going on in between in the hand sketch, but that's not our purpose in the hand sketch. If we want something more precise, we're going to use that closed form solution, or we're going to solve it in MATLAB. So now we're ready to compare this to our second system. So we have to go through the same steps, and let's sketch our second system. Second system has different parameters for the resistor and for the capacitor. Here we said our resistor is 30 ohms, and our capacitor is going to be a 0.1 farad capacitor. So let's see what our transfer function is. We're going to have 1 over RC, but this time it's going to be 30 times 0.1 is 3s plus 1. So we have a tau of 3 seconds, but everything else about this is going to be the same. Our input is still 50 volts DC, at least the amplitude is. It's still a step function, and our A value is still going to be 1. So in this case, V1 steady state for this system will be that A times B. It actually will still be 50 volts DC. The steady state value not affected by changing the R and the C for this system. Now we can go to make our sketch. So time and V1 in volts DC. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just sketch it for 5 seconds. We'll get more detail when we go through the MATLAB. And we already know this will peak at 50, 40, 30, 20, and 10. Not quite to scale. Our system is going to have that same steady state value at 50 that it's going to asymptotically approach. It's also going to start at 0, but now the next point, our time constant, will be different. Here we're going to have a time constant at 3 seconds is when it's going to hit that 31.5 volts. So if we take this over to 3 seconds, right about here, that's at 3 seconds now when our system passes through the 31.5 volts DC. And making a sketch that passes through these 2 points, and then asymptotically is going to approach, running out of space here, but again, it's going to asymptotically approach from below our 50 volts DC. Now, on its own, it looks pretty much the same as the first system. When we compare them on top of each other, we're going to see definitely the difference in their responses. So we're going to take this and we're going to do it in MATLAB, and then we'll be able to compare both of them at once. So now I'm going to create system 2. So the difference here is G2. This transfer function is 1 over 3s plus 1. So I'm going to make that, just double check it. 1 over 3s plus 1 for our resistance of 30 ohms and our capacitance of 0.1 farad. So that transfer function has changed, our time constant has changed. So let's see when we plot this for that same input of 50, a step function of amplitude 50, and over the same time span here, 30 seconds, what this looks like. And running this, let's compare this first to our sketch. Our sketch started at 0, so that's correct. We said at 3 seconds, it was 1 time constant. And here, 3 seconds, 31.6, matches pretty close to what we had. And then we see our steady state. It's going to asymptotically from below approach 50. It's getting very close to 50. It's rounding up, but we see the steady state value is indeed 50 in the second system. So these 3 points match what we had in our hand sketch. But now we want to see them at the same time. So in our third figure, I am going to plot both of them at once. What I'm calling G1 here, system number 1, and G2, system number 2, so we can more directly compare their responses. So in blue, on the left, we have system 1, and in red or orange, system 2. And we see here how their responses are different. In system 1, where we had a time constant of 2 seconds versus system 2, where we had time constant of 3 seconds. Well, we see that system 1 has what we could call a faster response. One, it got to that same value of about 31.5 or 31.6 faster. It got there in 2 seconds, one time constant, versus the slower time constant of system number 2 that got there in 3 seconds. And we can see that in system 1, it is more quickly approaching the asymptotic value of 50 than is system 2. So just by changing those couple of parameters, the resistance and the capacitance, we were able to modify the behavior of the system, or at least the output that we were looking at, the voltage across the capacitor.